students. The day before yesterday, I started with Constructors chapter. Now I am going to continue from the same chapter but from page number 111. On this page, the example is given that private and protected word can be used prior to the constructor word, that means constructor name, in the constructor declaration. It means that the modifiers we can use private also, protected also, public yesterday I explained within, but the problem is the private and protected constructors can be used within the same class only, but public constructor can be used in the same class or outside the class also. Now this is class book P. Then there are three variables: int, string, float, data types are there. Then the constructor is there. I told you yesterday 4 points. The first point was the name of the constructor should be as same as that of class. It is a kind of method, so round bracket should be there. You can write here public, private, protected, any word. Then the three variables you have taken, you have to define any value. You have to give any value in the constructor if you do not want to give a default value of that particular variable. See, I told you when the constructor is invoked, when we are creating any object. Here B1 is object of the book class that is being created here with the new operator. This part is known as constructor. When the object is being created in the main method, the memory allocated to the object is this much, that is int is having 4 bytes, string is having the type of characters you are giving, that much memory of string will be given, prices of float type, so 4 bytes will be given. That means the total memory is depending on these variables. So when the object is being created here, it will call the constructor and it will hold the values for B1 of this type. The values you are giving in the constructor, that is 101 for book number, ABC for book name, and for price 0.0f. You can give any value in the constructor. When the object is being created, these values will be given to this B1. Then there is the statement SOPLN, details of object B1. Then after this, B1 dot display details. This line is known as method calling statement. Here method is a non-static type and it will call this method and execute the body of the method, and output is in front of you. The details of object B1, this line. Then book number, it is being, these values are being fetched from the constructor. So book number 101, ABC is the book name, and 0.0 we have given for price. So in this way constructor is being invoked in the program. Next topic is constructor versus member methods. Now what is the difference between constructor and member methods of the class? It is telling you that constructor is similar to member method, but constructor have its different functionality. Why? Because constructor is used to initialize the object. Any value to be given to the object is given in the constructor, and methods are used for reusability of the code. That means again and again if we want to repeat the code, we need to create the method, right? Execute repeatedly whenever it is required. So this differences you have to remember the point. See, the constructor, it is always similar to the name of its class, but method is any name as per user's choice. That means we can give any display details, add method. It is as per the programmer's choice, but constructor if you are making, it should be the same name as that of class. Constructor does not have any return type, not even void, but methods have return type. Maybe void. If you do not want to give any value, return any value, then void should be written, or any other value like int, float, string, any value, that type of value will be held by the method. Then what is the need of the method? To initialize the member variables. Here what is the need of the methods? To avoid the repetition or to increase the code reusability. If you want to reuse the code again and again, then we need methods, because we cannot type every time the same code we have to type. So we need methods for smaller code and reusability feature. And then order of execution. Order of execution means how it is invoked. So executed at the time when the object creation is there, and can be executed repeatedly, and when it is being called only then it is being executed, not itself. When the object is created, no method will be called. Method will be called by user's call. If it is a static method, there is no need to create the object. Simply you can write the method name and give the parameters. And if it is a non-static method, then the object creation with the dot operator and the method name is the order of execution. That means method को जब तक बुलाया नहीं जाएगा वो अपने आप execute नहीं होंगे. But constructor, the moment your object is created, constructor is automatically called. अगर आपने अपने प्रोग्राम में कंस्ट्रक्टर नहीं बनाया है तो कंपाइलर इस पॉइंट पे अपने आप एक डिफ़ॉल्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर बना देता है, और तब इसको वैल्यूज़ मिल जाती. बुक नंबर के लिए डिफ़ॉल्ट वैल्यू इज़ 0, बुक नेम के लिए स्ट्रिंग टाइप है तो नल मिल जाती, प्राइस 0.0f मिल जाता. If you will not be giving any value to in the constructor, compiler will be giving. That is also known as default constructor. Again, points to remember is constructor is a special method with the same name of class without a return type. Why I am saying it again and again? Because these 4 points are the most important part of the constructor. These are the 4 points which can be used in any of the questions to be asked in the paper. So a constructor is a special kind of method, but it is not having any return type and it is having the same name as that of class. A constructor is used to initialize data members of an object with legal values. Legal value means जिस type का आपने variable लिया है उस type की कोई भी value आप create करते टाइम दे सकते हो. Whenever you are creating the constructor, you can give any value of that data type जिस तरह का आपने variable declare किया है. A constructor is automatically called or invoke or executed same words when the object is declared. जैसे ही object create और declare किया जाता है उसी टाइम अपने आप constructor invoke हो जाता है. When a constructor is not defined explicitly means अगर programmer define नहीं करेगा तो Java provides the default constructor which automatically initializes the instance variables to null or 0. That means जो भी उनकी default value हमने learn की थी 9th में basic types की, वो अपने आप compiler उनको allocate कर देगा at the time of creation of the object. So next topic is types of constructor. There are 2 types of constructor. One is default constructor, the word I am using it. A constructor that takes no parameters. Either you can write parameters or you can write arguments. The constructor which take no parameters or no arguments is known as default constructor. If you are giving parameters in the constructor, that means that constructor is known as parameterized. Let's study default or non-parameterized constructor. Definition is, I hope, clear. A constructor that takes no parameter is called default constructor. अगर ये constructor है तो it will have the same name as that of class and have no return type. वही दोनों characteristics that we have already done, that constructor is having the same name as that of class, having no return type. If you do not write a constructor in your program, the compiler will supply a default constructor and initialize with the default values of the primitive data types. Integer variables की 0, floating की 0.0 and string to null. It is giving you explanation that the moment you will declare any integer variable और अगर compiler ने constructor बनाया है तो उसको value मिल जाएगी 0. अगर कोई floating type का variable है तो उसकी value मिल जाएगी 0.0 और अगर कोई string type का है तो उसको मिल जाएगी null. Right? Now, what is a syntax? अब class name है, उसमें ये class name is for constructor here. It is telling you अगर आपकी class का नाम book है तो आपका constructor का नाम भी book होगा. Public book. As it is taking no parameter, it is known as default constructor. और डिफ़ॉल्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर के अंदर आप कोई भी वैल्यूज़ अपने वेरिएबल्स के लिए इनिशियलाइज कर सकते हो. दिस इज़ द कंस्ट्रक्टर बॉडी. This will be invoked कब कॉल होगा? When you create a object without any parameter. जैसे ही आपने ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट किया है और यहाँ कोई पैरामीटर नहीं दिया है, इसका मतलब इसे डिफ़ॉल्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर को कॉल करना है. So it will invoke only the default constructor. Now there is a program again. Program to check default values of data members assigned by compiler. It is telling you again book is there, 3 variables taken, one non-static method is there. Then in the main method it is telling you book object ob1 is created and ob1 display details. It is telling you the output कि हमने यहाँ पे इस प्रोग्राम में कंस्ट्रक्टर नहीं बनाया है. You can see that there is no constructor here. If we will not provide the constructor in the program, then compiler will automatically create the default constructor and it will give the default values will be assigned by the compiler. Now see, as ob1 is created here, no constructor is there in the computer. When we'll call this method ob1 dot display details, so display details is a method in which all the 3 values to be displayed on the screen. Now we have not given any value, so how will the value will be assigned? It is defined by the compiler, and the compiler will give book number 0, book name as it is of string type, so it will be allocated null, and price is of float type, so 0.0 will be given to price. So these will be the output. Next topic is parameterized constructor. The word parameterized constructor is telling you that a constructor that will take parameter or argument, it is known as parameterized constructor. It means constructor is same as that of class name, but earlier we were using default constructor which was having no parameters in these brackets, but now we will be supplying these value as parameter or arguments. Then this particular value will be given to this parameter data member, and this particular value will be given to the other data member. That means just like your methods, if you supply the parameters in the constructor, that particular values will be given to the data members. Let's see the example. Book is the name of the constructor. Inside the round brackets, it is having one parameter x. It is of int type and our book number is of int type. So the x value will be initiated to the book number. It is assigned to book number now with this parameterized constructor like this. This line is shown in the main method. When you create the object of the book class with a new operator, and when we supply the parameter, it will not call the default constructor. It will go to the parameterized constructor and supply 190 value to x, and the x will be supplied to book number. That means when the output will be there, so book number will be 190, book name will be null, and price will be 0.0 because these values have not been supplied there in the constructor. Only one parameter constructor is used here, that is with the help of int value. So there is 190 and 190 is book number. If we will use two parameters constructor, that means it has taken here int x and float p. That means int value will be to book number and float value will be to price. Now again it is showing x is assigned to book number and p is assigned to price. Then when we'll create the object of book2 class, then if we use the two parameterized constructor, the 37 value is of int type and it is applied to book number. 550 value is of float type and it is supplied to price. So it is showing that with the help of parameterized constructor, we will supply the value while creating the object, and that particular values will be assigned to the object parameters or object variables. Next topic is constructor overloading. We have done method overloading in the last chapter. Now in the same way we can use constructor overloading also. Overloading means to overload the methods in one program. That means same name of the method or same name of the constructors can be used in one program many times. Now it is showing us public class book1. Book1 is the name of class. It has three variables. These are object variables, or you can say instance variables or global variables. It is of type int, it is of string, and price is of float. Now the first constructor is book1. Book1 is the name of class. It is having no parameters, so it is known as default constructor or no argument constructor. And in this constructor body we have initialized the values to some values. We have given 0, ABC and 0.0f. You can give your choice values. Next constructor is book1, again the same name as that of class. See, it is having no return type, so this is constructor. अगर यहाँ method होता तो method should have return type, either void or some other data type. Now book1, this constructor is parameterized and this constructor is parameterized. These three constructors are present in one class. So more than one constructor in program is known as constructor overloading. If we will have more than one method of same name in one class, that is known as method overloading. So it is constructor overloading. It is having one parameter and it is having two parameters. Now see this main method, because the execution of the program will start from main method only. So here are three lines written, book B1, B2 and B3. These three are the object creation lines. In first object creation line, see this, there is no default, argument. That means it will call the default constructor. The moment this line, that this object is being created, it will search for this particular constructor. This is having no parameters, so it will go to no parameters constructors, that is no argument default constructor. That means B1 को values क्या मिल जाएंगी, 0, ABC and 0.0f. Then B2 is created here. B2 को वैल्यू मिल रही है 190. दैट मीन्स एक पैरामीटर उसको मिल रहा है लेकिन बाकी दोनों पैरामीटर उसको सप्लाई नहीं हो रहे. इट मीन्स एक वैल्यू वो यहाँ से ले लेगा. दैट मीन्स 190 विल बी सप्लाइड टू इंट पैरामीटर एंड अदर टू वैल्यूज विल बी null. Null means the default values. Now 190 will go to this constructor. So X will be assigned to book number, but we need book name and book price also, and we are not supplying here. That means compiler will give the default values. Book name को मिल जाएगा null और book price को मिल जाएगा 0.0f, right? Then the third line is book B3, new book 1, 37,550. Now it is having two parameters, so it will search for two parameterized constructor. Now it will go to this parameterized constructor. It is having two parameters, so X value will be 37 and 550 will be supplied to float variable. Now book number को भी मिल गया value और price को भी मिल गई value, but book name again हमने उसको कोई supply नहीं किया. That is why जो हमारा compiler है वो book name को भी null assign कर देगा due to string type variable. Now see this. Next statements are B1 dot display details, then SOPLN, then these three are method calling statements. Now we will execute this program along with the terminal window given on the right side of your page. Whenever book B1 line is there, see it will go for this constructor, this default constructor. Now see the output window. First line is constructor called. That means this line. That means first line is here, first execution line is here only. That means जैसे ही B1 object create होता है, it will search for constructor. So constructor called line is there. Then values will be assigned to B1 object. Next line is B2. B2 is creation line is there. Then it will go for one parameter constructor. It is going here. Then the line is parameterized constructor call. See the output, parameterized constructor called. It means it is going to another constructor. Then B3's line is there. B3 में 37 and 550 it will go to two parameterized constructor and the line written inside the constructor is constructor called. Then you can see that in the output constructor called line is there. So that means the moment our object is created, constructor is being called. So constructor जब कॉल होता है तो constructor की बॉडी को एग्जीक्यूट किया जाता है. कंस्ट्रक्टर की बॉडी में अगर स्टेटमेंट लिखी है तो वो प्रिंट हो जाएगी और वैल्यूज़ उस ऑब्जेक्ट को मिल जाएंगी जिस ऑब्जेक्ट का कंस्ट्रक्टर कॉल किया गया है. फिर B2 जब कॉल हुआ, बुक वन पैरामीटराइज कंस्ट्रक्टर के पास गया, उसकी बॉडी को रन किया, उसमें अगर तो कोई प्रिंटिंग स्टेटमेंट लिखी है वो रन हुई और वैल्यू असाइन कर दी गई उस B2 वेरिएबल को. सिमिलरली B3 के लिए इट विल सर्च फॉर टू पैरामीटराइज कंस्ट्रक्टर, उसकी बॉडी को रन किया, उसमें अगर प्रिंटिंग स्टेटमेंट है वो रन हुई और दोनों वैल्यूज़ होल्ड कर दी गई. उसके बाद द मोमेंट दिस स्टेटमेंट इज़ देयर, डिटेल्स ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट B1, see this output window, details of object B1. Then again the line is B1 dot display details. Now this is non-static method calling statement, so it will go to the method, but which object is calling here? B1. Now B1 is calling display details method. That means B1 को जो values allot हुई हैं, B1 को क्या values allot हुई थी, you can see from here, जो डिफ़ॉल्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर में थी. डिफ़ॉल्ट कंस्ट्रक्टर में क्या वैल्यूज़ थी? 0, ABC, 0.0F. ये वाली वैल्यूज़ हमारे B1 ऑब्जेक्ट को मिली थी. द मोमेंट B1 विल गेट दीज वैल्यूज़, इट विल प्रिंट द वैल्यूज़, सेम वैल्यूज़. नाउ यू कैन सी फॉर 0, ABC and 0.0, this is for B1 object. Next, come back to main method. It is showing here details of object B2, details of object B2. Then come back to main method, B2 dot display details. Again it will go to display details. Now which object is calling? B2 is calling. B2 को क्या वैल्यूज असाइन हुई थी? You can see from main method, B2 को हमारे पास 190 हुई थी बुक नेम नंबर के लिए, बुक नेम और प्राइस के लिए कुछ अलॉट नहीं हुआ था. सेम इज द केस हेयर. लुक हेयर, डिटेल्स ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट B2, 190 for book number, null for book name, and price 0.0 is there. So next is B3 dot display details. Now which object is calling B3? B3 is having these values 37 and 550 and string के लिए हमारे पास आना चाहिए null. So the output will be 37, null and 550. So in this way we can use constructor overloading in our programs. Next topic is using this keyword. This is a keyword which is used to refer the current object. It is actually a reference to the object that invokes the constructor. ये हमें this keyword help us that किस variable के बारे में बात हो रही है, किस variable में value डलवानी है, उस particularly current object को refer करता है कि इस particular object के variables को value डलवानी है. This is not must to write this keyword. हम नहीं इसको लिखते तो कंपाइलर अपने आप हमारे वेरिएबल्स के आगे this अंदर उसको लगा चुका है, उनको क्लियर करने के लिए कि किस वेरिएबल के बारे में बात हो रही है, किस ऑब्जेक्ट के वेरिएबल्स हैं जिसमें हमने वैल्यूज़ इनिशियलाइज करानी है. लुक एट दिस एग्जांपल, इट इज़ ऑन पेज नंबर 115 ऑफ योर बुक. क्लासरूम, क्लास नेम इज़ रूम. It has taken 3 variables, length, width and height. This is public room constructor. The moment you will see that there is no return type in your book in front of in the method heading line, you can easily judge that this is a constructor. Remember this thing. It is a special method. Constructor is a special method which has no return type, which is having same name of class, and it is used to just initialize the object variables. Its purpose is to initialize the variables. So it is telling us class name is room, 3 variables are there. In default constructor or no argument constructor, it is telling us इन वेरिएबल्स के बारे में बात हो रही है, इसलिए स्पेसिफिकली इसने दिस डॉट लगा दिया है, दिस डॉट ऑपरेटर to call this particular variable. So it is just referring that about which object variables we are talking about. So this dot length is equals to 0. You can give any value, you can assign any value, 6.0, 6.5, any values you can give. So it is just an example that 0.0, 0.0, it is just initialization values. So it has given to these variables. And another constructor is type parameterize. These are the parameters, and these L, W and H, these variables will be assigned to the actual variable. These are the object variables. That is why this is written there. This is done by compiler only. That means we need not to specify this explicitly. If you want to write, it's okay. If you will not write, compiler will write inside it. Right. Next program, it is same example, it is shown here using this keyword. The room is there, 3 variables are there in 2 constructors. It is showing how we are using this keyword. Now next topic is assigning an object as a reference variable to another object. It is just a theoretical concept. It is telling you that let's suppose we are creating one object. Either we can write in 2 lines or we can write in 1 line. This is one way where you are declaring the object first, then you are assigning it to new book part. This is the right side part which you were writing earlier, and this is bifurcated into 2 parts. Either you can write in this way, which you are using it already, that means class object name, this is the declaration part, this it is done here in 1 line, and equal to new book, this is the constructor part and new operator is there. So these are the 2 ways in which an object is created. So the topic is we can assign one already created object to another. हमें ज़रूरत नहीं है कि बुक B2 के लिए भी न्यू बुक वाला पार्ट लिखना पड़े हमें. हम डायरेक्टली अगर उसी क्लास का ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट हुआ है और हम वही वैल्यूज़ हम B2 को देना चाहते हैं, तो सेम वैल्यूज़ ऐसे भी दी जा सकती हैं. हमने क्या किया, पहले एक ऑब्जेक्ट को क्रिएट कर लिया, उस क्रिएटेड ऑब्जेक्ट को हमने असाइन कर दिया दूसरे ऑब्जेक्ट को. दैट मीन्स B1 को जो वैल्यूज़ इससे मिली होंगी वही सेम वैल्यूज़ विल बी सप्लाइड टू B2 object. This is the topic assigning an object as a reference variable. See, here we are assigning one object as a reference variable to another object. It is another object of same class. If we want to supply the same values as that of B1, we can directly write here book B2 is equals to B1. So B1 has already got the memory here. So this memory is allocated to B2 also. That means memory means same values of the variables will be supplied to B2. Now see this program, 118 page. Public class object reference. This is the class name. In this class again 3 variables taken. This is the parameterized constructor with having 3 parameters, and these values will be supplied to book number, book name and price. A to book number, then N to book name and B to price. Then non-static method is there, check main method. First line is, this is just an escape sequence for the next page. It is nothing important. This line is object creation line. This is the class name, object is created here, and with this parameterized constructor it will get the values. Then OB1, that is object already created, it is calling here display details method. So it is showing us the output also. So it is giving here output that details of object O1 is the values we have already supplied in constructor 123, book number, book name is DEF, same is showing here. So it has got the values from the constructor. Then now this part is the topic I just explained, that we are referring one object to another object. That means OB1 को जो values मिली हुई हैं यहाँ से वो हमने same assign कर दी OB2 को directly. Need not to write again and again the same lines. If you want to supply the same values of OB1 to OB2, so this is the line what we can write. Look here, it is again showing us details of object 2 are same. We have just defined reference the variable from one to another and it has given the same values to OB2 also. Then there is an object 2 details, we have seen this thing. Then OB1 price is changed 500. Now it is showing you that if one value of OB1, that means हमने OB1 की एक value change कर दी price 500. That means after changing the instance object हमारे पास अगर हम दोबारा कॉल करेंगे तो हमारे पास बुक यहाँ पे प्राइस चेंज होके आ चुका है. See 1 2 3 DEF, earlier it was 234, now it has changed to 500. तो वो आपको बता रहा है कि whenever you call the non-static method with OB2, तो OB2 में भी अपने आप कंसिस्टेंट चेंज हो चुकी होगी. तो OB2 की वैल्यूज़ भी चेंज हो चुकी हैं. अगर आप OB2 में प्राइस चेंज करोगे इवन देन इट इज़ बीइंग चेंज हेयर. सो इट इज़ टेलिंग यू एक वेरिएबल से दूसरे वेरिएबल में चेंजेस कंसिस्टेंट आप कर सकते हो. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज़ क्रिएटिंग अ टेम्परेरी इंस्टेंस. टेम्परेरी इंस्टेंस मीन्स हमने न्यू से डायरेक्टली ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करना है यूजिंग द हाफ लाइन मेथड. Look here, this is the example class. That class name is room1. 3 variables are there. This is parameterized constructor. This concept is being used here. It is telling you that these particular parameters will be supplying values to these particular instance variables. Then public void display. This is the non-static method which will be displaying the details of the variables. Then in main method, room1, that is the class, object is created here and these values will be supplied to this parameterized constructor. Then it is showing us values of object r1, r1 dot display. This is simple method calling statement. Now see, it is telling you how to create temporary instance, this particular line. We need not to write this full line. We can just create temporary instance. We can give values with the dot operator only. Here we have written new room1. You can see this is the half line of this part. That means हमने object का नाम नहीं रखा है. बस नाम नहीं रखने से वो एक temporary instance create हो रहा है और वो directly display method को supply कर रहा है ये वाली values. अगर हम r1 यहाँ लिखते हैं तो ये particular values R1 को होल्ड हो जाती हैं. दैट मीन्स R1 इनको वैल्यूज़ को होल्ड कर लेता है. अगर हमें ज़रूरत नहीं है कोई नाम रखने की, फॉर द टाइम बिंग हमने डायरेक्टली मेथड को कॉल करना है तो हमें ये पार्ट लिखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. हम सिर्फ हाफ वैल्यू लिख के ही हाफ लाइन लिखने से डायरेक्टली मेथड को कॉल भी कर सकते हैं. दिस इज़ हाउ वी कैन क्रिएट टेम्परेरी इंस्टांस. इंस्टांस मीन्स ऑब्जेक्ट. कैसे टेम्परेरी ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट कर सकते हैं? हाफ लाइन लिख के. न्यू जो हमें मेमोरी एलोकेट करता है, किसको मेमोरी एलोकेट कर रहा है? इन 3 वैल्यूज़ को. ये 3 वैल्यूज़ किसके पास जा रही हैं? डिस्प्ले मेथड के पास. डिस्प्ले मेथड में क्या है? ये हमारी डिटेल्स को यहाँ पे प्रिंट करवाने में हेल्प करेगा. फर्स्ट वैल्यू वॉज R1. R1 को वैल्यूज़ मिली थी 10, 10 एंड 10. दैट मीन्स लेंथ 10, विड्थ 10, हाइट 10. देन वैल्यूज़ R2 को क्या मिली? R2 नेम नहीं रखा था बट हमने डिस्प्ले मेथड को डायरेक्टली टेम्परेरी इंस्टेंस से कॉल किया और हमें ये वैल्यूज़ अलॉट हो गई. नाउ लास्ट टॉपिक इज़ कंस्ट्रक्टर्स कैन बी इन्वोकेटेड और एग्जीक्यूटेड थ्रू दिस कीवर्ड. अगर हम कंस्ट्रक्टर ओवरलोडिंग यूज़ कर रहे हैं उसके अंदर हम दिस को यूज़ करके कॉन्सेप्ट को हम बता सकते हैं कि हम किस कंस्ट्रक्टर को बुलाना चाहते हैं. किस कंस्ट्रक्टर के बारे में बात हो रही है? 2 parameterized, 3 parameterized or without parameters. So I am going to explain this program. This is the last topic of the chapter. Class name is product1. It is having 3 parameters, variables here: P code, product code, price, quantity in hand. Now check the main method. We'll start executing this program for main method. Product 1, that is the class name, P1 is the object name, new product. This part is known as constructor. It is having no argument, no parameter. So it will go for this non-parameterized constructor, that means default constructor. The moment it will be here, it will execute this part, it will execute the body of the constructor. Now see the first line. Now this is written there. This के आगे अगर हम कुछ पैरामीटर सप्लाई कर रहे हैं तो ये इन्वोक करेगा, चेक करेगा कितने पैरामीटर्स हैं. यहाँ 2 पैरामीटर सप्लाई किए गए हैं. इट विल सर्च फॉर 2 पैरामीटराइज कंस्ट्रक्टर. सो ये इस पार्ट को एग्जीक्यूट नहीं करेगा, ये इसी लाइन से पहले यहाँ पे आ जाएगा 2 पैरामीटराइज कंस्ट्रक्टर पे. द मोमेंट इट विल बी हेयर, इसकी ड्यूटी है इस पार्ट को एग्जीक्यूट करना. जैसे इसकी बॉडी के अंदर आया, इसकी फर्स्ट लाइन है दिस 3 पैरामीटर्स. दैट मीन्स इससे पहले भी हमें सर्च करना पड़ेगा 3 पैरामीटर वाले कंस्ट्रक्टर को. सो इट विल गो फॉर 3 पैरामीटराइज कंस्ट्रक्टर. सो फाइनली इट इज हेयर विथ 3 पैरामीटराइज कंस्ट्रक्टर. नाउ इट्स ड्यूटी इज टू रन द 3 पैरामीटराइज कंस्ट्रक्टर बॉडी. सो हेयर x वैल्यू मिलती है p कोड को, y वैल्यू मिलती है प्राइस को और z वैल्यू मिलती है क्वांटिटी इन हैंड को. दैट मीन्स जो x वैल्यू आएगी वो p कोड को मिल जाएगी. सपोज आई एम राइटिंग हेयर 30, आई एम राइटिंग हेयर 40.5 and int I am writing here 35. So that means x को मिली 30 value that will be supplied to p code, y को मिली 40.5 and 35 will be quantity in hand. Then it will be executing here. See the terminal window. First is dotted line. See, it is dotted line here. It is getting printed here. Then it is showing us in parameterized constructor 2. So it is running here in parameterized constructor 2. Then this dot p code जितनी भी value हमने दी होगी. It is just an example that is showing here. So it is showing here 10 को कितनी मिली हमें, x को कितनी मिली 10 और price को कितनी मिली हमें 20.5. See the first constructor, default constructor. From here it is fetching the values 20.5, 10 and z को कितनी मिली, यहाँ से इसको मिल गई 100. तो it is running here all the parameter. इसने सारी details हमें यहाँ display कर दी. The moment this body is completed, it will go back to this constructor, this part. 2 parameterized constructor. इतना part रहता था हमारा. It was left to execute. So इसको run करेगा. Now you can see the terminal window. Again dotted line is there and in parameterized constructor 1. So it is inside this 2 parameterized constructor. In parameterized constructor 1, again it will be printed here. All the same values will be printed here. Then the moment this body will be executed and it will go back to this part. From the dotted line it will print all these things and will come back to main method. So this was constructor. Again I am reminding you, a constructor is a special member method of the class without return type and which has the same name as that of class. A constructor is used to initialize and construct data members of an object. The moment object is created, that particular values will be initialized to object variables. So constructor can be categorized into 2 based on parameters. It is having 2 types. One is default constructor and other one is parameterized constructor. We are revising this chapter. You have to go through this chapter because this is new chapter for you. So it is a very important chapter. So when more than a single constructor exists within a single class, it is become constructor overloading. New operator हमें memory allocate करने में dynamically help करता है. And the process of assigning one object to another is called assigning object reference variable. The process of using a memory location without any name is known as creating a temporary object. So these things we have done, and we have already we have done one more thing. Constructors can be chained together. एक के अंदर एक कंस्ट्रक्टर हम बुला सकते हैं. वी कैन इन्वोक बाय कंस्ट्रक्टर इनसाइड द कंस्ट्रक्टर विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस कीवर्ड. दिस कीवर्ड हमें इन्वोक करता है कि किस पर्टिकुलर ऑब्जेक्ट के बारे में बात हो रही है, किस पर्टिकुलर कंस्ट्रक्टर को बुलाना है. So this is all about the constructor chapter. Thank you.